It's weird how easily Emmy and I can keep from seeing each other after class now. Actually, I venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easily as we'd come together, we seem to split apart without much trouble. I guess that's not exactly true. We've both been pretty bummed after that last night together. Hey, yo. And we get to see each other every morning for our runs, and just our runs, I might add. Lunch too. I especially enjoy lunchtime with her. And have plenty of time to talk about how everything outside of school, whereas the morning runs have become increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Emmy wants to make up for her foolery in this storage shed. But no matter how much we joke at lunch, I can't help but feeling a little worried about her. She seems distracted more often, and I've caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured her to be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll, even though they haven't even started. This is just the run-up, the deep breaths before the plunge. Tomorrow, the real trials begin. Or, the real exams anyway. As for me, I actually don't feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, I could spell doom for my academic career. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out the other side. Okay. That's a good mindset to have. Like, study as much as you can if you feel the need. But, you shouldn't stress over them. Do what you gotta do and then just move on. Life will continue on no matter what. Muto thinks I've got the science examination locked up. At any rate, he's got that locked down. Or as he says, the last thing that should give you trouble is my exam, Hisao. It's way beneath your talents. Then again, it is Muto who's telling me this. His praise of me carries the veiled implication that anything less than perfect form for me would be a disappointment, which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. It's for that reason that I find myself in the library after class, poring over the textbook. Pretty simple things to look over, some formulas of velocity, a few bits of friction. That's not really all that simple. Memories of velocity and friction. Formulas. No more formulas, please! I walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam. Everyone's good with languages. Considering he's Japanese, that would be even more difficult, right? But I've never really had too much of an issue with math, but English was real easy for me. I mean, I even used to be a tutor, right? I used to be a tutor for English. Now I say all the brain rot words, but back in my day, back in my heyday when I was in college, we used to know the English good. We used to good at the English. As I flip through the notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon, we'll be graduated. Then, off to college, hopefully. I remember my abortive attempt to find out what Emmy plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems that just about every time I push too hard, she dances around the subject. Or distracts me through other means. Like a few days ago at lunch when Rin wasn't around. Oh, yo. I've done it! I wasn't thinking of perverted thoughts. Nuh-uh, you were. Oh, hi, Yuko. I'm sorry for my reverie by Yuko's triumphant shout. Yeah! Yuko seems mortified at my sudden starting. Oh my god! I'm so sorry. I really wasn't... It's just that... As she stutters, I move to quickly calm her down before she gets too agitated. Whoa, hey. My words seem ineffective. That wasn't much of a comforting sentence there, Hisao. It was the very bare minimum. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy. And it's a library, and I shouldn't be... Easy there. Just calm down. And really, I'm setting a bad example, and now I'll get fired because I can't do anything right. Yuko! The shouting seems to work, though. I draw the ire of several other students studying in the library. Yuko snaps to attention like a soldier who just heard the captain bark an order. Sorry. Calm down. It's okay. Just startled me a little, and it's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So, really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. Was it a complete lie? You seem to be daydreaming a little bit there, buddy. Yuko takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little, though she keeps sniffing around with a nervous energy that seems awfully familiar. So, what's got you so excited anyway? The Yamaku cat burglar. To regret it, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper. I think I know who it is. I got an anonymous tip as to their identity. So I did some spying and I think the tipster was right. Oh, really? And, who was this burglar? Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her head decisively. No, I can't tell you that. Why not? It's between me and the burglar. I can't risk you warning him that I'm on to his game. He could tip his hand early and blow town. Then I'm left with no perp. When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? I wouldn't warn them. Why would I even care? If you gotta ask that question, then you don't need to know. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess. Thanks. Oh my gosh, she really does give off like nervous Tita energy. Ah. What for? The, cat burglar thing? Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively. So, studying for exams? Well, that was the plan. Not having much luck, though. Really? Is it because you can't find a book? Oh, I'm really sorry. Been meaning to clean the shelves up for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Whoa, wait. It's not that. Got my book right here. Illustrate the point and hopefully calm Yuko down. I share her the textbook in front of me. My mind just keeps wandering is all. Is it because of the noise in here? I'm trying to be more strict about the noise levels, but I can't bring myself to yell at people. Yeah, that checks out. I mean, are their lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around? Respect my authority! No, it's not the noise level either, I promise. I'm just... hell, I don't know. Worried about Emmy? Worried about us? Worried about what happens after we graduate? You know? That's fair. That is totally fair. Like... it's a good idea to focus on your exams right now, but like, you was dating for like 2 days, and then it was like, alright, so now we gotta like focus down on exams, and so, see ya in like a few weeks? Haha, like, like that was a real short honeymoon, huh? Emmy's been kind of weird lately. What do you mean? Well, you know how we're dating now. I just don't know that we're actually... you know, a couple, or at least I don't know if we're beyond friends. Though friends normally don't do that sort of things we do. I mean, they can, though. Fuck buddies! Physically, we're a couple. Coupling, at least. It's like every time I try to find out more about her or what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into, and asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? She shrugged in response and says, no. And when asked why not, she says that she doesn't think that far ahead. Asked why she had that policy, and she suddenly realized that I'm about to start describing, and wisely decided to clam up. She what? She, changed the subject. Wink. Wink. She wouldn't talk about it. Maybe it's an uncomfortable subject for her. Or she just doesn't think it needs explaining. Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what has been bothering her, she changes the subject too. The dread that I'm feeling that perhaps I've made my way into the wrong route. There's a chance that we have failed the Emmy route. I don't think we have. But like, the possibility is there. It's like she likes being with me, but not getting close to me. Now that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. You could digest the bit of information. You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is. I can always feel my stomach twist into a knot. She's right. It's exactly what it seems like. But, is that really what's going on? I mean... Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. It's quite funny, though, that they're saying that, considering... like, the other day, after I, got done with my recording, right, of that day, I was feeling like, alright, we've laid claim to Emmy. Who's next? Like, I was really, in the mental state of just like, alright, which route are we going down next? Which I don't even know if I'm gonna do those on for, Skye reads shit, but, I'll play this game, throughout to the end. I think we'll only do, one route on stream. Or, not stream. What? The streamer brain goes burr. But, do one route on, the channel. But... after this one, I think maybe we'll, move on to something else, just to try to, keep things moving. It would be fun to go through all the routes, and I definitely will go through all the routes myself, but I feel like it's not a bad idea to just go through, one route myself. This is the route that I landed in. This is the route that, would be canon, if, this was, for real, right? But yeah, like, while this seems to be, like, still going on, like, there's obviously more story going on, and, a lot more, like, plot point after the whole, like, you got laid, congratulations! Now here's the, like, quote-unquote post-game content. But, like, I'm already in the mindset of just being like, I wonder what's going on with Hanako. You know what, Lily, you know, that'd be an interesting route to go down. It's like, why can't I just stay faithful, damn it, stay faithful. Commitment issues go burr. Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense. You shouldn't take my advice. You barely know me. I feel like I see you fairly often. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call us friends, but like, somewhere between acquaintances and friends. Like, mutuals? Yeah, let's go with that one. I'm just a librarian, and I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about. No, I think you have a point. As much as it hurts to even consider it. Yuko seems to try desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat. Look. I'm probably wrong, but if you want to be sure of how obviously wrong I am, maybe you should just talk to her. Oh, the depression. This lady has no self-esteem whatsoever, does she? Oh, man. But true, though. We should definitely talk to her. Get some time alone and just ask about it. And don't let her change the subject either. Yeah, maybe I should do that. I can't let her walk all over me. She doesn't even have legs! How am I letting her walk all over me? Damn it! Or maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We have fun hanging out, after all. And the runs are nice, and the other activities are nice. Talking to her is nice. Do I really need to get closer to her? What I've got right now is pretty good. But, that's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her out with whatever's bothering her. But, maybe we should wait until after exams are over. Yeah? I mean, she did say that she wanted to, like, put some distance between us until exams were over, right? So, like, that's probably the better idea. That's probably the better option. But you also might not be able to, like, focus on exams with this distance in between you right now. Like, it's obviously causing you to daydream, right? There's, like, what I'm capable of doing, and then there's what Hisao is capable of doing. You gotta remember that, like, despite what I'm okay with, and despite what I'm, like, capable of doing, there's a different main character. Hisao is not me. Hisao is not Skye. So, he's gonna have different, like, morals and different, like, availability, different feelings than what I've got. Because honestly, yeah, I would kind of honestly be okay with the situation right now. Like, I would definitely be fine with, like, oh yeah, you know, just like, wait a couple of weeks, get exams over with, and then, like, we'll deal with our relationship after that. You just put a little pause on it for a second. Especially considering I was already just talking about how, like, I'm already feeling like, alright, next route. So, like, I'd be okay with this, but I don't think Hisao, like, being in, like, his first relationship ever, right? That definitely would have a different feeling. That would definitely be a lot different of an experience than if I, right now, was getting into a relationship with somebody, and, like, we was both in, like, college or whatever, and had some sort of, like, big exam looming. Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress is past. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I thank Yuko for her advice and head back to my room. Maybe I'll be able to concentrate more on my studies in there. It smells like her in here! I leave the room after finishing my final exam and breathe a sigh of relief. Oh shit! Oh shit, the exam's already over with? Okay. As I hoped, exams weren't so bad. Managed to breeze through just about everything but the English final. And even that was acceptable. I wonder how Emmy did. Even more so, how she's doing. She looked terrible at lunch today. I mean, she was pretty happy to be out of her wheelchair, but she was so exhausted. Something's been wearing her down, and I'm starting to really doubt that it was just the exams. Should I confront her about this, though? My musing is interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. Hey, Hisao, got a minute? No, I don't think we should. I really don't think we should. We will definitely save, though. But, like, I don't think we got a minute. Because, like, if we spare a few minutes now to talk to Muto, then, like, this might be the chance, right? That, like, we need to go and confront Emmy about things. Like, this is probably the better idea for your future. but this is the better idea for your future with Emmy. So we're gonna go with this one. We're gonna try and keep the route. Actually, got something I need to do. Yeah? Oh well. I want to get some feedback on the science club from you, but we can do that later, I guess. Enjoy your break, you hear? Thanks, I will. We'd love to chat with Muto, but I've got other things on my mind. Specifically, what to do about Emmy. Can I just confront her? Question keeps spinning in my head, even after I made my way back to my room. What if she gets angry about it? Besides, what if it's nothing? If I go in and refuse to leave until she tells me what's wrong or something, won't they come off as clingy? You say that like it's a bad thing. We're okay with a clingy individual. Although a lot of people don't like clingy individuals. I mean, I get it at the same time, but like, I don't know. I like the idea of a clingy girlfriend. I don't want to start a fight or anything over something like this. Maybe we should just drop the matter and see how she is tomorrow before I do anything. Would it be so bad to just let it go? Let it go? It's not like we don't enjoy each other's company, but odd as it sounds, I really want to help her. I don't even know what it is or if there's anything at all she needs help for, but I want to. Suddenly, knocking my door rouses me. Open to see Kenji. Oh boy. Oh, it's you. It's me? That's it. Have any idea what I've been through? What I've done? You'd be happy to see me, dude. I mean, that was some epic you may never see me again shit. And here you are just acting like I went down to the store for some milk. You're a cold man, Hisao. I respect that. Ah, thanks, I guess? It's smart to play it safe, you know? Don't show any emotion. Keep your cards close to your chest. Unless it's time to show your cards, or you have bad cards. Then you should fold, collect your winnings. Do you understand? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I take it the, mission went well. Whoa, awfully nosy of you, isn't it? You can't just go saying things like that. Things are at a delicate stage. One wrong move and BAM! Invasion succeeds. Thought you were gonna blow the conspiracy wide open. It's bigger than I thought. Need to update my charts. And probably change some of the puppets around. You want help? I got some whiskey from, summer whiskey, you say? Well, you can fill me on everything you've investigation has turned up. Better not. I'm supposed to meet her today. I gotta go do that. Can't raise suspicions. Kenji nods in approval. You know how to play this guy. Finally, after like, God knows how long, let's say like a month or two. After like a month of dealing with this guy, we finally know how to play him. Still keeping it close to the chest, huh? Okay, man. I respect that. Good luck. Thanks. Later, dude. I'm just gonna pretend, for the sake of my own sanity, that he's wishing me luck in talking to Emmy. And if I squint, that whole card analogy he was talking about works here. Time to lay it all on the table. Or see if I can't get Emmy to do so, rather. With the sense of something approaching purpose, I head for Emmy's room. You know, maybe we should get, like, a present. I'm just thinking about it, like maybe, you know, box of chocolates or something and be like, hey, congratulations, we did it. Although she's a health nut. She's not that much of a health nut. She loves to run, but she also loves sweets. Like, the amount that she devours our cake. Ayo, phrasing? I hop up the stairs leading to her room, knock on her door. Who's there? That's odd. Her voice sounds a little choked. Ooh. Hey, it's me. I thought I'd stop by. Hisao, come on in. Reach down to open the door, only to find that it's locked. More and more curious. Your door's locked. Oh yeah. Sorry. Give me a minute. In a few minutes, Emmy opens the door, grinning. Sorry, just had to put my legs on. I was napping. Despite her grin, there's something definitely off. Emmy's eyes are slightly red, and it looks like she's been crying. Oh no. Oh no. Hey, no problem. Are you okay? Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that it looks like you've been crying. Oh yeah, Hisao, you're off to a great start on this one. No, I would say this is off to a pretty great start. Like, showing concern that your loved one has been crying, that's actually a pretty good start. It's actually a pretty good start. Like, that is a giant elephant in the room that you wish to address. What? Nah, I'm fine. I'm just happy to see you. She punctures this with a long kiss that continues as the door slams shut behind us. I know what she wants to do now. I'm also painfully aware of how badly I want to do it too. But I break the kiss with a wrench of self-control. It nearly kills me. Hey, wait. Emmy's eyes crinkle in confusion. Huh? Wait for what? We need to talk. Isn't that supposed to be my line? And never a good thing to say. She's got a point. It's usually the lead into a breakup, or the prelude to a fight. Well, maybe it can be a good thing this time. That's the hope anyway. Uh-huh. Can we at least get onto the bed? It's my first day back on these things and I'm still readjusting. Plus, the nurse said I should try to be on them less often, since running puts such a strain on them. I feel like that might be the reason she's crying, right? Like maybe she went too hard with it, and now she just can't run anymore? I can't argue with that. It's a trap, we both know it, and we both don't care. Then again, it's awfully hard to get angry while in bed with the object of your affections. So, maybe there's that motivation too. Oh man, the music's swelling up though, like, this feels so dramatic. I set Emmy's legs by the bedside and sit down next to her, throwing an arm around her shoulders. In silence, we just enjoy being able to be in this position again for a few minutes. Then, of course, I need to ruin it by opening my mouth. Look, I know that you've been having kind of a rough time of it lately, and I want to help you out. I thought it was just exams getting to you, but now I come to your room and you've been crying? That kills me. But I can't do anything if you won't talk to me about it. I told you, I'm fine. No, you aren't. It's obvious something's eating at you. You can tell me, you know. There's a slight increase in tension in Emmy's voice. Why is my saying I'm fine not good enough? You're concerned. I get that. That's cool. But I'm fine. It's nothing you need to worry about. Not sleeping and spacing out more than Rin doesn't strike me as being fine. I just want to help. Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't like seeing you like this. I want you to be happy, you know? I get the feeling that came out wrong because Emmy fixes me with an icy stare. So you want to fix me, Hisao? She's definitely getting angry now. Want to swoop in on your white charger and save the day? Charger? Huh? Okay, sure. I guess we'll go with the charger. Stop the nightmares, the phantom limb pains. Restore what's lost. I mean, this is to her benefit, though. She's letting it all kind of waterfall out. Like, she might be angry at us, right? But it's all waterfalling out, so we're getting what's been bothering her, and we can then take steps to try and help her through it. Not fix her, but like, because you can only ever fix yourself, right? But you can be there for somebody. You can help them fix themselves. But only if they want to. Her voice catches in her throat, and the tears start to flow. Well, you can't. Nobody can. Nobody will. I'm so stunned by her sudden verbal assault that I remain quiet. I never say anything for a while. Surprised that Emmy tightens her grip on me, rather than pushing me away. Ooh, that's a good sign. It's a good sign. After a deep breath, she starts talking again. Look, I'm sorry. There's these nightmares about the accident. The accident. I should have known. It took her legs after all, but it never comes up, of course. I mean, it took more than just her legs, it took her dad as well, didn't it? I usually deal with them fine because I can run. Running clears my head like nothing else. I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running, and you wasn't allowed to run because of whatever, like, injury you sustained. And then also the stress of exams. A lot of things really piled up here, huh? Really unfortunate timing. When it rains, it pours and all that. I just concentrate on breathing, on the rhythm of things. It's easier that way. Life's easier that way. Just keep moving forward, you know? Nothing else matters. Just getting around the next curve. The desire to sing Metallica with Nothing Else Matters, but a serious moment. Don't do it! Don't do it! And then it's the next curve, the next, till I can't go anymore, or think anymore, or do anything but slow down and walk until I catch my breath again. After something like that, nothing else matters. But I've been stuck in that goddamn wheelchair for too long. No outlet. Today, it's just kind of boiled over a little. You could have talked to me about it, you know? You didn't have to do it alone. Amy smiles sadly, like she's trying to explain to a Chow that all fire burns. Yeah, I did. And I do. But why? Why do I have to keep going through this alone? Why can't you just trust me enough to let me help you? And smile again. Emi leans in and kisses me on the cheek, an almost motherly gesture. She leaves my mouth close to her ear as she confesses this one thing to me. Because, Hisao, I've already had everything I knew ripped away from me once. I don't know what I'd do if it happened again. She pauses, if uncertain as to whether or not she should continue. I can feel a violent churning in my gut. She continues. So, I can't rely on you, or the nurse, or anyone else. Just me. I mean, I get that, but it's not a healthy mindset to have. That's how it's gotta be. Having delivered this short speech, she looks down and covers her mouth with the back of her hand. The conversation is clearly over. Search for something to say, but can't think of anything. Maybe I should go. For now. No, Hisao, that is the incorrect choice. No, don't leave her like this. She says she can't rely on anyone and then you leave her? That is just the dumbest thing you can do. Especially as her boyfriend. Shit. I've got stuff. Emi doesn't even look up. I hate this. Oh, I hate this. She sounds tired or relieved. I can't tell which. Okay, Hisao. Go take care of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. Hisao, you idiot! I get off the bed and head for the door, pausing at the doorway. Please let me turn around. Give me control. Let me turn this ship around. Hey, Emi. Yeah? 1,000 things I want to say. I'm too mixed up to say any of them, though. After her admitting that she'll never let me close, I feel like my world's just been ripped out from me. What happened in that accident? I know she lost her legs, but it's never seemed to bother her. What happened there? What scares a girl so badly that she won't accept help, even from someone she loves? I don't know. But I want to know. I want to know so badly that being denied that answer feels like a knife in my gut. Hisao? You were saying? I'm still standing in the doorway. Nothing. Never mind. And I'm closing the door and walking down the hallway, down the stairs, out the door, into the dark. Somehow, I wander back to my own room. My brains are doing a mile a minute, going nowhere fast. Can't figure out how to deal with this. I thought that moving forward was a good thing, dwelling less on the past that I can't change, living in the present and looking at the future. After this thing with Emi, I'm not sure anymore. She was saying the truth. It's simpler to look at the next curve, ignoring the path gone by. No worry about the opponent left behind. No care for the spectators on the sidelines. And, unfortunately, no time to watch out for lagging teammates either. I throw myself down on the bed, looking at one corner of my ceiling as if the answers I want were written there. No such luck, of course. She's literally running away from something. But have I not been doing the same thing? Trying my best to forget about my hospitalization. I'm getting better, but my health isn't going to magically fix itself. It means 2 legs instead of a heart to deal with, but those aren't going to magically fix themselves either. Maybe this is just as fixed as both of us can get. The room becomes darker and darker, until I can't really tell I'm looking at a corner anymore. Morning comes too soon, on the heels of a sleepless night. Is this how Emi's been spending her nights? Staring at this wall, or ceiling, trying to stop thinking about whatever it is. Her, in my case. The clenched feeling in my guts is still there. I can't rely on you. Words spoken so casually, almost like they were teasing me, chastising me for suggesting that the earth is flat. It's how it's gotta be. The way it's gotta be sucks. I'm feeling so miserable that I very nearly decide to skip the run. That'd be stupid though. It's not something I should do just to see her. Sure, that was the original reason, but it's something more now. I'm starting to enjoy the running itself. There are worse ways to get the blood flowing, anyways. Never thought I'd say that after my first week or so, but I feel a lot better after a run. Like, no matter what else I do today, I've at least done that one thing. It wakes me up too. Emi herself said that running always clears her mind. Maybe it'll help clear mine. I hope so. The growing pains of young love. It's, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm, like, crashing out over Hisao's decisions here just because, like, I've been through this whole song and dance before, and I know that, like, him not even trying is the worst thing you can do in a relationship, but he doesn't know that that's just like the metagame knowledge, I guess you'd say. I know that the worst thing in a relationship that you can do is not to do anything. Even if you fuck up, right? Trying is the most important thing you can do in any sort of relationship, any sort of like event. Even if you mess up, right, you can like learn from it and like continue on. It shows that you care enough to like put effort in. But not doing anything, it just shows that you don't care. Even if you actually do care, you're just too scared to care. And that's just the worst. That is the worst thing. The morning is cool and clear, if a bit humid. Summer's making itself known, it seems. Amy's already stretching out when I arrive, and greets me with a smile and a wave. Knife to the gut. Hey, Hisao. Sad for so chipper's like a kick in the nuts. Real. How can she be so happy after yesterday? I give a half wave and am surprised to receive a hug. Yeah, I am too. I guess Emmy is kind of like... She is just that kind of girl where she's... doesn't want to get too close. Like, even her loved ones she wants to keep at like an arm's length away. Which isn't the best mentality to have, but I do understand it. Unfortunately. Hey, about last night. Here it comes. I wanted to say thanks. Huh? I actually managed to get some sleep for the first time in a while, and I think it's because of our talk. So, thanks. How could she sleep better after our chat? Basically told me that she wouldn't get any closer to me. And that let her sleep well? Excuse me, but what the hell? I mean, either doesn't notice my bafflement, or chooses not to notice. No telling with her anymore. Oh, no problem. Glad it helped. The venom that threatens to drip into my voice is controlled for now, but I think I better start running now before I do anything stupid. Emmy seems equally willing to get started, and before long, we're darting around the track. I can tell she feels more relaxed. Her running has gone back to the more graceful movements I remember from when I first watched her. It's a stark contrast to the almost brutal way she's been hurling herself around the track these past few days. Our talk really does seem to have helped her. A pity it couldn't help me. I get into the rhythm of the running, thinking back to when I couldn't afford thinking about anything else but keeping my breathing steady and legs moving. Guess those days are gone. At least for the first couple of laps. Annoyed at the lack of success I'm having with clearing my head, I increase the pace. There's the burning sensation in my legs. Breaths come ragged in my chest and pounding in my heart, just still need to be careful about. But it does seem to have gotten stronger, and I feel a pumping blood throughout my veins. A sound thrums in my ears, but instead of being panicked as I was that day in the snow, I'm instead filled with elation. Yes, it's working! My heart. That fatal flaw that landed me here has improved. I'm able to keep going now, and maybe one day I'll be able to stop worrying as much. Right now, it doesn't matter that I have no idea what to do about Emmy and me. All that matters is that my arms and legs continue to pump in concert with one another. Nothing else. As I hit the final stretch, I remind myself that running really does help, though not as much as I'd hoped. I do feel better as I walk a few laps to cool down, begin to remember last night in a slightly less emotional manner. Emmy wants me to stay distant from her. I can't bring myself to do so. There's gotta be a way around this. Some kind of middle ground I can reach. Not sure what that middle ground is, though. Damn, I was almost feeling optimistic. Nice run, Hisao. You've really improved. Nice run. That's all I can hope for now, isn't it? Congratulations, Hisao. You're pathetic. Gotta change my attitude. Well, you know, I am pretty awesome. And yet I just keep saying things that I don't mean. You gotta fake it till you make it, buddy. Any second now, I'll be as good as hiding my problems as Emmy is. Is that what it means to be an adult? Maybe. I like to think so. Why does she do this to me? Saying stuff like that with such real affection in her voice that it makes my heart leap? She doesn't mean it. She can't. Must be doing a worse job than I thought, because Emmy peers closely at me. Hey, you feeling okay? Maybe we should go get to the nurse, huh? Yeah, hate to keel over on you. Emmy looks a little shocked at my bitter tone. Don't say things like that. We've already done it once before, you know. Why does she act so affectionate? She doesn't really care. Thought she made that clear. Despite all that, I find myself apologizing, even though I shouldn't have to. Even though she's probably just putting on an act. Sorry. Come on, let's see the nurse. Can't get myself to calm down the whole time. Every time it feels like I've gotten over what happened last night, Emi does something or says something that shows affection, and I'm back to the beginning. I do know that feeling quite well. It's such a shitty feeling to be in as well. To be like, oh, yeah, like, we're just friends, or like, this is not a for real relationship, and then they hit you with something you're just like, but what if? But unless? But no. And it's just like, I'm stuck in this purgatory on planet bullshit! The image of her ending the conversation haunts me. It was like the final twist of the knife that left me feeling bereft of any hope that Emi and I could be more than what we are. And what are we at this point? And really, it's not like I don't enjoy the time I spend with her. I said so the other day myself. I very nearly didn't even bring up anything with her. I was just gonna hop on in there and let her ride, wasn't I? Let her ride! This is running through my head. I found myself in front of the nurse's office, still brooding as he checks out Emi. Emi comes bounding out the door and gives me a kiss, darts off to the shower, I assume. Meanwhile, the nurse beckons me into his office to give me the ritual once over. Are we going to talk to the nurse? Are we going to turn the nurse into a counselor? Any problems today? Nah. Even pushed it a little harder today than I have in the past. Seem to be able to handle it. That's uncharacteristically risky coming from you, Hisao. You've been hanging out with Emi too much. She's revved up on you. Not necessarily in a good way. At the mention of Emi's name, I can't help but feel unhappily, in spite of my efforts to control. Oh, now. This is new, don't you think? Last I checked, your usual response to Emi's name was a grin, not a frown. What exactly happened between you two? Because Emi doesn't seem to be in on whatever it is. She looked more relaxed than I've seen her in weeks, which is unusual for this time of the year. What do you mean by that? By what? This time of the year, I keep trying to figure out what's been bothering her, but she clams up as soon as I broach the subject. And last night she said, let me guess, she won't tell you because she says she can't trust you. And now you're crushed because you thought the two of you were so much more than she seems to think, right? Actually, yeah, exactly. More or less? How the hell did you know? Hisao, I'm the nurse. It's my job to know these things. Plus, known Emi for long enough to know that she'd try to do something like this. It's just like her. He says this is the sort of half-affectionate, half-frustrated tone that would seem more appropriate if he had a cigarette dangling from his lips. As it is, he seems willing to make do with a pen. I open my mouth to respond, but a knocking sound at the door interrupts me. Hey, you guys still in there? Just a moment, Emi. Give us a second to get our pants back on. Damn it, nurse. The door bursts open and Emi glares knives at the nurse. Asshole. Didn't mean to get your hopes up. Hey, can you leave me out of this? Anyway, what's up, Emi? Forget something? Try to take a more cheerful tone with her. You don't need to upset her. Two can play the everything's fine game. Actually, I forgot to ask you something. What's that? You want to come over with me to a trip to my house? My mom's making dinner and I thought you might want to join us. Well, of course I accept. Emi punches the nurse in an arm playfully. Not you, idiot. You were over last week. I was talking to Hisao. Oh, how interesting. Meeting the parent. I'd love to go, Emi. Thanks, even though I've already met your mom. Nurse raises an eyebrow, but says nothing. Great, now I'll be in my room. Swing by after your shower and change it to something clean, and we'll grab the bus. Sounds good. I'll see you in a bit. This time it's me who leans in for a quick kiss before darting off to my room. And just leaving the nurse behind like that. What an interesting development indeed. Maybe we're getting closer after all. Maybe Emi's finally ready to open up a little. Or maybe she's just being polite, and a free meal seems like a good way to apologize for last night. Great. Now I can decide whether to be excited, nervous, or depressed. I settle for a combination of all three and hop in the shower. Oh. I don't think I like riding on buses. Actually, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that as a fact. They sway a lot, smell funny, you can feel every bump in the road. Not really looking forward to this. Plus, Emi's legs keep making a clanky noise that draws the attention of everyone else on the bus. She's a clanker! Holy shit! She's in shorts again, and she's got long socks drawn up to her prosthetics, so they don't look so obviously false again. But that doesn't help the odd look or two every time her legs bump together with an audible clunk. I shift nervously in my seat, and Emi raises an eyebrow questioningly. She doesn't seem to mind the stares. Either that or she doesn't even notice that people are staring. I'm sure she's gotten her fill of odd looks before. After a certain amount of time, I doubt she'd notice anymore. Not that she'd ever tell me, if I asked. Another fact is, I'm not just comfortable about the bus. I can't seem to come to terms with the fact that Emmy appears to be trying to bring me closer, while at the same time pushing me away. Yeah. Meeting the parents is a big deal, right? Not that I haven't already met Emmy's mother, but that was just as an acquaintance. Now it's going to be as Emmy's boyfriend, with everything that implies. I feel my heart pounding in my chest. An echo of that snow-covered afternoon that feels like it was so long ago, it might as well be another life entirely. Except then, I didn't know what was going on. I also didn't have the medication to help prevent things spiraling out of control. Come a long way in terms of my physical health, and for the second time today, I feel like I'll be able to live normally now. Or at least as normally as possible. What even is normal? Now, if only I could manage my relationship as well as I've managed my heart, I'd be in great shape. Isn't that the mood? Well, we're here. Amy grabs my hand as soon as we've stepped off the bus. She starts heading down the street almost immediately. Come on, we've got a couple blocks until my place. Okay. I follow Emmy down the street, watching her confident stride. She's setting kind of a quick pace for just a walk. I guess she's anxious to get there. So, does your mom do this sort of thing often? Nah, not too frequently. Mom's never been much for playing hostess. Oh yeah? Yeah, my dad was always the one pushing her to have people over. The sudden and impromptu reference to her father catches me off guard, and from the look on Emmy's face, I'm not sure she meant to mention him. I think I've only ever heard her talk about him once. All I remember is that Emmy's mom told me that he wasn't around anymore. Oh, your mom prefers solitude. Emmy laughs, either from relief that I didn't ask about her father, or from finding my statement actually funny. Not at all. She's why I'm such an outgoing person, you know. She just prefers to be a guest rather than a hostess. It's less stressful that way, or so she says. Clearly, she's never had to meet her girlfriend's mother for dinner. Emmy giggles again and speaks in a teasing tone. Nervous, Hisao? You shouldn't be, you know. It's not that big of a deal. Just dinner in my house, and that's all. Yeah, but have you ever brought a boyfriend before? I confess that part of me dreads hearing the answer to this. I know very little of Emmy's past relationships. I don't even know if there were any past relationships. No, I guess I haven't. Maybe this really is kind of a big deal after all. Oh, good. Now I feel twice as nervous. To tell the truth, I'm pretty happy to hear that I'm the first one. Maybe we got something special after all. The constant just like back and forth in the brain. Oh, I know that feeling so well. Bolstered by this new thought, managed to calm down considerably by the time Emmy knocks on her front door. Hey, Mom! Open up! We're here! The door swings open and Miss Ibarazaki stands grinning at her daughter. The grin is still surprisingly similar to Emmy's. They're not that similar, but sure. I'm never going to get used to that. You know, people normally wait for a few minutes before they start shouting at the door. And most mothers say hello to their daughters instead of scolding them right away. Of course. Welcome home, dear. I've missed you. Oh my god. Yo, you live like this? There's so many dishes in that sink. And then you got a pot on the stove still. Wow. I mean, it's not that bad to be honest with you. But, you know, whenever you know you're gonna have guests over, I feel like you try to clean up a little bit more. Also, is that a cat on top of the microwave? What is that? An affectionate hug later, we're inside, and it's only then that Emmy's mom seems to remember that I'm actually here. And hello to you too, Hisao. How are you? I'm quite well, thank you. Nice to not have school to worry about for a little bit. Ah, yes. You finished up your exams, haven't you? Must be quite a relief for you both. Also, that's a good point. Why am I still at the school and not, like, going back home to, like, say hi to our parents? Like, we're just staying the summer instead? Do we not want to go home and see our parents? I feel like that's fairly common, even for, like, these kind of boarding schools that for lack of a better term. Like, it's still pretty common to, like, go home for the summer. It's certainly a weight off my mind, that's for sure. Mine too. I think I slept well for the first time in weeks last night, from relief alone. If this news is a surprise to Emmy's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her response betrays a note of interest. Is that so? Well, I'm very glad to hear that, Emmy. You know, I get worried when you get all wound up about, well, exams. Certainly Emmy's mother knows something I don't, or rather, she doesn't know that Emmy's told me about the nightmares. It's interesting, being able to observe how Miss Ibarazaki covers for Emmy, a protective instinct to make sure that I don't know any more than Emmy's willing to tell me. I wonder if Miss Ibarazaki will figure out that I know about the nightmares, or is she just keeping everything a secret from everyone? Yeah, it's not been as bad this year as in the past. This helped me to stay focused. Okay, I know that's not true. She even cut off contact outside of school hours during exam week. But she did see me during the day, and she told me that more than once that morning run was the only thing she looked forward to during exams. So maybe it's not that much of a lie? Either way, to hear that being around has helped even a little makes me feel a bit better. Emmy's mother raises an eyebrow at the statement. Either she doesn't believe Emmy, or she's as surprised as I am. Well then, it appears that it's a good thing you two have become so close. I'd tell you to take good care of my daughter, Sal, but it looks like you're already doing that. Emmy grins at this and seems to take pride in my having managed to integrate myself with her mother so easily. Actually, I'd say your daughter's been the one taking care of me. She's gotten me out and running. I've been more active since meeting her. And more so than I ever was, even before. I actually never thought of it that much, nor had I appreciated the humor in it. I wasn't too active during the heart attack. Pick-up games of soccer don't really count since they weren't that common. So now that I know for sure that I have a weak heart, now I run every day, pushing my luck with the help of my medication. Chuckle quietly, then realize I never finished my sentence. Well, before I had my heart attack, that wound up at school here. Comes out so casually, there was a time that I wouldn't even thought twice about talking about what was wrong with me at all. But now it just seems like a silly to care, especially in the company of Emmy and her mother. Emmy can be cavalier about her disability, and so can I. I think back to the track meet, when Emmy declared herself the fastest thing on no legs. Still a wild statement. The fact of her obvious loss has never seemed to bother her, or at least not in public. Being stuck in the wheelchair frustrated her, I know, but even that was something she dealt with on her own, despite my efforts to be the contrary. Emmy has a way of bringing out the most active side in people. Never quite figured out how she does it. Those puppy dog eyes she gets, for starters. I'm not surprised that she managed to rope you into her exercise routine. If Rin weren't just as stubborn as she is, I'm sure that Emmy would have gotten her out and running with you too. That reminds me, Rin says hello. I drift to the outer edge of the conversation again as we move into the dining room to eat. It smells delicious in here, and the spread that Emmy's mom has produced is impressive. Whoa, you've made enough to feed an army in here. Is it too much? Well, you can always take some leftovers with you when you go. Sounds great. I only handle cafeteria food for so long. Something home-cooked would be a welcome change of pace. What he said. Thanks, Mom. Food tastes as good as it smells, and there's a lull in the conversation while we all dig in. Emmy starts her plate with the usual amount of gusto, and I will admit that I set a pretty fast pace myself. So, I hear that you and my daughter have gotten rather close, Or should say something like, not really. It's so strong that I open my mouth to say it, but then reassert control. We are close. There's no getting around it. I mean, Emmy's brought me here, hasn't she? Fortunately, both Emmy and her mother seem to take my reaction as a sign that I'm caught off guard, rather than considering saying something cruel. You gotta love the like self-destructive tendencies in your brain to say something cruel in like a situation like this. Like, no, you shouldn't say that, but you kind of want to. You kind of really want to. I suppose we have. I blame the morning runs myself. You make it sound like a bad thing, Sal. Well, I for one found it a relief. Why's that? Emmy's always been a popular girl, but never made many close friends. It's a bit of news to me. Always seen Emmy chatting with her classmates in the hallways. And certainly the whole track team seems to love her. But it's true that she chose to isolate herself during lunch, with Ren and me. Not exactly the sort of behavior one expects from a popular girl, after all. Then again, I've experienced her unwillingness to get close firsthand, so I can't say I'm that surprised. I was beginning to have my doubts. Emmy rose her eyes to the ceiling and grumbled something that I can't quite make out. What? What's that you just said? Nothing? She's blushing. Miss Ibarazaki chokes on her drink with laughter. You've been hanging out with the nurse too long, Emmy. I'm gonna have to talk to him about corrupting my daughter. Somehow, I don't think that'd be very effective. I learned most of it from you anyway, not the nurse. I know she's got that grin on her face again. Oh, don't listen to her, Sal. She's a born liar. Yeah, right. Oh, I don't know, Emmy. I think your mother has a point. What? You traitor. You're supposed to take my side in this. Yeah, but you did... You did lie about your leg after the meet? The kick halfway through. Kicking the shins from an unmistakable plastic foot cuts me off, but not before Mr. Ibarazaki's eyes shoot upwards. What about your leg? That wasn't a big deal. It's all... I was just in a wheelchair for a bit. And those few mumbled words are quickly deciphered by Emmy's mother. I suspect she had experienced this sort of thing, and a weird frown appears on her face. So that's why he kept dodging my calls. Oh, Emmy, I know how much you hate being in a wheelchair. No wonder you've been in such a mood lately. Yeah, she's much happier on her feet, so to speak. Well, of course. She's She spent enough time in a chair just after the accident. She didn't get prosthetics immediately? No, she had to finish up healing before they'd start with that sort of therapy. You gotta go through to adjust these things. Especially since she wanted to run on them. I had no idea. Yeah, it sucked. Oh, did you see Rin's mural at the festival? She is trying so hard to change the subject. Emmy's sudden change of topic makes me realize belatedly that she's been fidgeting the whole time her mother and I have been talking. I should have figured on her being a little skittish when it comes to talking about the accident, even around her mother. No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it at your track meet, it seemed pretty weird to me. Real. I think that's more or less what she was going for. She talked a lot about it being dreamlike, or trying to make it dreamlike. Rin's art is one of those things I don't understand. I don't think I'll ever understand. That's not surprising. I don't think Rin expects to be understood. She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff they wouldn't otherwise understand. But all the same, she doesn't think it actually works that way. Surprised Enemy's talked about with this Rin extensively enough to actually have Rin's opinion, such as it is. Although I expect that Rin could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emmy's. Unless, of course, Emmy is purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely, but unpleasant to think about. I drift this unpleasant train of thought for a while, losing track of the conversation. Hey, Emmy, I've been meaning to ask. Are you going to visit your father this year? But the way she says it, I think Emmy's mother was talking about the weather. The way Emmy reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards as if she's just been slapped in the face. Can we talk about this later? Her voice sounds brittle, strained. It looks as if she's been severely shaken by the question. Seems Miss Ibarazaki misjudged just how close Emmy and I are. Some things, it seems, we're not best conversed about with me around. Her father is one of those things. The accident that took her legs is probably another one of those things. If her reaction to the earlier conversation between her mother and myself is any indication. It doesn't take Emmy's mother long to realize she screwed up. Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just want to ask so I could make plans. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Emmy fidgets nervously as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today, less than a few hours ago even. What is a simple question about when she'll visit her father caused such a strong reaction? Unless, whatever serenity she claimed to have reached by means of her talk the previous evening has suddenly evaporated. Or it didn't help as much as she thought, or claimed. I'll, be right back. Gotta visit the little girl's room. Oh boy, now we get to have a conversation with Mama. Emmy gets up suddenly and leaves the table, leaving me and Miss Ibarazaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her, or should I stay here? You should not chase her to the little girl's room. That is... What? It's obvious that Emmy's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her, and I have to know what it is. The only way to find out is to go to the source, and the source is currently pretending that she has to use the toilet. I excuse myself politely from the table and head that way, and I catch sight of Emmy not in the bathroom, but in the kitchen just next to the living room. I don't know if that's the correct, pathway to take. We all know what's going on here, even if we don't know to, what degree, right? I still feel like that's just... That was a prime time for, us to talk to Mama Ibarazaki. And I feel like we kind of squandered that by chasing after Emmy, who just obviously wanted to be alone for a second. Emmy's left the door open, and as I approach, I can see that she's holding onto the table in an attempt to compose herself, an effort that fails as soon as I open my mouth. Doesn't look like nature's call was all that urgent. Emmy jumps and glares at me. What are you doing here? I didn't come here to be with other people. Just wanted to help you. Looked pretty rattled. If we're on the correct pathway, this feels terrible, man. If this is the correct path, the growing pains of this relationship is brutal. I said it was nothing, didn't I? Besides, I thought we'd established that you can't help me. No, we've established that you're stubborn. Look who's talking. The guy who followed me. Yeah, true. That's different. I want to help you with whatever this is. Funny, because I just want you to leave me alone. Why? Why can't you just trust me? I've been over this already, Hisao. I've got to deal with this stuff on my own. I won't accept that. Need my help, and you just won't take it. We're having this argument one room over. Mama Ibarazaki's just back in the kitchen, back in the dining room, just drinking a cup of tea and just being like, ooh boy, argument in the kitchen between my daughter and her new boyfriend. Ooh boy, this is such an awkward moment. Ah! My wording seems to have been a little off. Need? I need your help? Well, it's a good thing we met, isn't it? Because otherwise, I guess I'd just be a broken human being, wouldn't I? No, it's a damn good thing that Hisao came along to save the day, isn't it? Because God knows I can't save myself, can I? I'm just the poor, emotionally damaged girl with no legs, right? Emmy, you know I don't think that. Really? Because if you thought differently, then I don't think you'd be here, saying that I need your help. Gotten pretty far in life as a normal human being without you. So what? Nothing we've shared was important? I'm just the guy who hangs out with you. You're my boyfriend, Hisao, not my savior. Well, no, that much is obvious. Won't even consider that I could be a help to you, though, will you? You just bottle it all up and hope that a run will solve your problems? You'll come visit me and we'll fool around until you feel better? It's not being a healthy human being, Emmy. It's not what a relationship means. True. Coming from a guy who's never been in a relationship. That is true. Well, that's about what it means to me right now, Hisao. I wish... Oh boy. She seems to reconsider her words just then. A flicker of pain, a doubt on her face. For a moment, I think she's about to cry. But the moment passes, and now she's composed herself again. Whatever that wish was, will have to go unspoken. Look, I can't do this right now. What? Have a serious conversation? Be open? Be honest? Give a damn about anyone besides yourself and your problems? What do you know about my problems? Nothing. You don't know what I've been through, so don't pretend that you do. Yeah, and whose fault is that? I know you have nightmares. I know your father is gone. What happened to him? Amy's head jerks backwards as if I just slapped her. That brittle quality has gone back into her voice. That's enough. This is stupid. This whole conversation has just been variations on Emmy stonewalling me. What? Won't even answer that question? Fine. Keep your secrets. They can lie in the grave as far as I'm concerned. Damn. Damn, Hisao. Damn! Emmy's eyes widen in shock. She speaks again. It's in a voice that is low. Dangerous. Get out of my house, Hisao. Sudden change in her tone snaps me out of my self-righteous anger. It makes me realize that a dawning horror that I've just said. Also, that face that she's got, like, why does she look so happy about that? Is she happy that she can send us on our merry way? Emmy, I didn't mean... I said go, Hisao. Tell my mother that she cooked a wonderful meal, but you've forgotten a prior engagement. Get out of my house! She's trembling now, shaken with anger, or sadness, determination. Her voice is still low, controlled, almost a growl. Reaches out to put an arm on her shoulder, to apologize for going too far, but she jerks away from my touch. Get out! What can I do? I walk out of the kitchen and go to the living room, make my apology to Miss Ibarozaki, and let myself out. She heard every damn word. Don't you try and fool. Hopefully that Mama Ibarozaki can get through to her headstrong daughter that we're just trying to help. We're a little clumsy at the moment, sure, but like we're trying to help. Finger point emoji. The morning alarm sounds and I roll over, switching it off. My eyes open blearily, stare at the ceiling. What am I gonna do? Do I get out of bed, go down at the track and pretend that nothing happened? Will Amy even show up? After last night's events, I doubt it. Even supposing that she did, what would I do then? Get over this fight just to dance the same routine the next time something's bothering her? I know that I spoke hastily last evening, especially trying to use her father as leverage. But was anything I said really off the mark? She won't let me in, ever, and she'll be forced to suffer alone. Nothing I do, nothing I say is going to change that. She won't change, and she's already decided to keep me at arm's length. Can I really bring myself to go down there and see her, knowing that I'm never going to get past where I am now? Yeah, that would be a really difficult one. No, I decide. I really can't. Not today. I roll over and go back to sleep. I don't know if I'd be able to go back to sleep, but like, I would agree that I would have such a rough time of going to that track meet. She probably won't be there anyway. A similar mental conversation repeats itself when it comes time to go to lunch, and I eat in the cafeteria alone. I don't want to see her. The very thought makes me feel ill. That night, I go for a run. Solo for the first time since Emmy got sick after the track meet. Skip seeing the nurse, just in case he asked about Emmy. I don't want to talk about her either. The next day, I do the same thing. Alarm off, stay in bed, eat alone, run alone. To fill the time that I would usually be spending with Emmy, start reading more. It works surprisingly well, till I find myself ducking into a restroom because I see her walking down the hall in between classes. If she noticed me, she didn't show it, even though I don't suppose she ever shows anything. Certainly not to the girls from her class I see talking cheerfully to her, or to her fellow Trek members. And especially not to me. Alarm off, stay in bed. Yeah. Muto and I have a lengthy talk about the possibility that string theory is plausible. I don't buy it myself. More than 4 dimensions I can buy, but a bunch of vibrating strings at the subatomic level? That's asking a bit much. Looks like I'm not the only one who thinks this way too. Apparently it's not really as strong a theory as it once was. Muto says that just because nobody has found the right way of looking at the data yet. That's... eat alone. I don't know why, but just like that little brief moment of like depressive spell. Anyways, talking to my bestie teacher about string theory. Anyways, back to depression. Wild. Rooftop is deserted today. Briefly wonder where Emmy and Ren are, but shrug off the question. Important thing is that they aren't here, so I wanted to talk to them. Since I have nobody to talk to, I bring a book with me to read. The weather's nicer. It's getting a little hot. Hopefully it will be cooler in the evening. Cool breeze seems to back up my theory. About what? Strings? Run alone. It is, in fact, cooler at the track. No sign of Emmy, which is exactly the sort of thing I'm going for. I stretch out and start on my usual run, trying hard to ignore the lack of a running partner in front of me, finding my thoughts drifting damnably to that girlish laugh, incorrigible grin, his wide and friendly eyes, incredibly toned body. I increase the pace to clear my head, trip the distance between me and the turns, find the speed that makes me think only of my legs and how much they burn. I glance at my watch as I round the final turn, noting that my time's gotten faster. You know, depression is truly the best help with working out. When you got such a heartache like this, right? Going for a run or like just doing an extra set, it's the most beneficial thing you can really be doing outside of like trying to fix what the actual problem is. Outside of fixing the actual problem, it is by far the most beneficial thing to work through it, right? Heart seems a little squirrely tonight, so I give myself a few extra cooldown laps just to be safe. You wanna go to the nurse? Have you been going to the nurse? You said you wasn't going to the nurse. I kinda hope you have been going to the nurse at some point. No reason to bring this to the nurse's attention. I'll be fine. A rather Emmy-ish thought to have, I'll admit. I have to hope that eventually I'll stop thinking about her so much. Finish another book before going to bed that night. Gotta stop by the library tomorrow. I feel like we're in such a bad end, man. I feel like we're in such a bad end. But like, I could also see this not being a bad end. Don't know why I keep the early alarm on anymore, but it wakes me up the next morning just the same. I still turn it off and go back to sleep. Oh boy. Afternoon, as I get ready to head to the cafeteria for another solo lunch. Got a new book about a couple of con men in ancient Persia. I'm pretty excited about reading. I'm suddenly cornered by Misha and... I guess just Misha. Off to eat alone again, He-chan. We've noticed, you know. We? Uh-huh. She-chan and I noticed that you've been spending more time alone. She wanted me to find out why, so I told her I'd ask you. I'm surprised she didn't ask me herself. I mean, you know, as much as she could. She would have, but she wanted to get a head start on some paperwork. There's a lot of it since they were coming up to the end of the term, you know. Well, it's an interest in my well-being, anyway. Shi-chan said, it is the duty of the student council to keep track of the emotional health of its students, to allow a constituted to spiral into depression unchecked would be an unforgivable failure in the council's duties. Yeah, that's easy then. I'm not depressed. But you're eating alone, nobody's seen you and Amy together at all. Something happened, didn't it, He-chan? Your room's a mess. You don't even have any stuff. Like, how is your room a mess? There's literally nothing in there. Misha's voice takes on a slightly sterner tone, though somehow she keeps the familiar lit at the end of her sentences. I purse my lips, uncertain about how to respond. Oh, shit, dude. That's a tough one, because, like, I know you probably should talk to somebody about this, but at the same time, when you get so emo like this, it's hard to want to talk to anyone. After a couple of days of finding yourself into this new groove, right, you kind of get attached to the new groove. And it's a terrible thing to get attached to, so we should absolutely let Misha know. But it's really hard to reach out when you're in this kind of situation. Like, unironically, I don't know if I would be able to let Misha know. I would probably downplay the issue. But with my emotional maturity or something like that I have now, this is probably the correct option, huh? But like, man, I kind of just don't want to. I kind of just don't want to. I just want to brood on my own. I'm Batman. I want to just get swole and beat up criminals in dark alleyways and be alone. Alright, we'll let Misha know. We should try. We should try for the good ending here. Hell, I suppose someone else knowing my problems can't hurt. Ugh, maybe Misha can even offer some advice. We had a fight at her house. I keep trying to get close to her and she just won't let me get close. And said something stupid. She threw me out. Have you talked to her since then? Misha looks genuinely concerned. I'm surprised. I'd almost expect her to drop the subject after finding out what the trouble was. Nah, Misha's a real one. She's a friendly sort. Even more surprising is how quickly I find myself spilling my guts to her. No, I haven't. I just can't bring myself to face her after that. I made a complete fool of myself, and she probably hates me now anyways. Especially since I haven't seen her since then. You're pretty slow, Chan. Doesn't sound like advice. Huh? Misha placed her hand on her hips and launches into a speech that would sound more plausible coming from Shizune. The solution to your problem is simple. You have to go and apologize to her. Leaving things like this will only make things worse. That is absolutely true. And it's obvious to see that. But goddamn if it's not hard to do that. You can't even know that she hates you unless you talk, unless she tells you. Otherwise, there's no evidence that what you fear is true. And if you really care about her, shouldn't you be worried about how she's taking all of this? Misha's spitting straight facts. The hardest facts out there, but straight facts. A sudden start, I realized that she's right. I kept waking up to an early alarm because part of me wants to meet Emmy at the track for our runs. I've kept running because I know that Emmy would worry about me if I didn't stay healthy. Probably. When I went on the roof yesterday, I was half hoping that she'd be up there, and I felt disappointed when she wasn't. I'm an idiot. Kinda, He-chan. So, go and apologize to her as soon as you can, okay? I opened my mouth and to say that I'll do it right away, but the lunch bell rings and I realize that I still have afternoon classes to attend. First thing, after her class is over, I'll go see her. I promise. And, thanks for the advice, I guess. Misha beams at me, as if I were a child that had just learned his ABCs. Good. I'll let Shi-chan know that you're okay then. You know, Misha's such a real one. I don't think you can actually romance Misha. Like, from what I know, like, it's Shizune, Lily, Hanako, Rin, and Emmy. So I wonder if this is, like, always going to be a scene in this game, right? Where we're going to have some sort of, like, rocky water moment. And then Misha's going to be like, hey, idiot! Do you really want to go down this route, or are you going to give up now? Which, such a real one, Misha. Such a real one. Yeah, you do that. With a wave, in complete disregarding the fact that people are starting to trickle back into the classroom as opposed to out of it, Misha departs the classroom. I suppose she and Shi-chan have student council business again. Yeah, sure. While the afternoon wears on, I find myself impatient for lessons to end. I need to see Emmy now. I have to try to set things right. Even if Emmy hates me now, I have to at least apologize. I owe her that much. Should I meet her in a room? No. I decided it would delay things too much. If I know Emmy, then I can find her at the track. Still, I have no idea what I'm going to say when I get there, but I take comfort in knowing that Emmy probably wouldn't have a plan for something like this either. Play it by ear. Stop being nervous and just get to the track. Figure the rest out when I get there. True! Let her ride! The track looms ahead, and another jolt of nerves hits me in the gut. I resist the urge to turn and walk away, and instead note with satisfaction that I was right. And Emmy is still running. I don't make myself immediately known. I find a seat in the bleachers and watch her run instead. Thinking back to earlier meetings. After a few trips around the track, Emmy notices me and skids to a halt. An expression of surprise that slides easily into one of anger. Yeah. What are you doing here? Not quite the response I'd hoped for, but at this point, I don't have much of a choice. I wanted to apologize for what I said the other day. The other day? She laughs a curt exclamation of disbelief. It's been almost a week, Hisao. Well, yeah, but better late than never, right? Emma crosses her arms and stares at me coolly, as if sizing me up. Finally, she nods. I suppose you're right. Water under the bridge, then. I forgive you. Just like that? Is that all? That doesn't... Girl? Her almost impatient question catches me so off guard. She's already halfway down the track before I think to shout after her. No, wait! She doesn't seem to have heard me, or she doesn't want to hear me. So I give chase, disregarding completely the fact that I'm not dressed for it. My feet hurt, and my short collar feels like a noose around my neck. But I still chase after her, because if I don't, I'll lose my chance. Amy hasn't started to really accelerate yet, which is probably the only reason why I'm able to catch up to her. To reach out and tap her on the shoulder just before my legs give up running in dress shoes, and stumble to a stop. Yo, Kira, you can run in dress shoes, no problem. Surprisingly, unfortunately, all that running seems to have paid off. I'm short of breath, yes, but at least my heart isn't actively trying to force its way out of my ribcage. I touch her on her shoulder, has stopped Emmy, and while there's a flash of concern when she sees me catching my breath, it seems that she has a good idea of what I'm capable of too. Concern is short-lived. What? She seems so irritated by my being still there that I almost lost my nerve, but I've lost my nerve enough. I need to explain myself. Well, I can't just let the matter rest. Amy folds her arms and bounces one blade on the ground in an approximation of tapping her foot impatiently. Angry as she is, and as nervous as I am, she still looks beautiful. Okay, Hisao, explain. Thing is, I know that you're really sensitive about the accident, and about your dad. I can see Amy's face twitch at the mention of those two things that have been steadily driving us apart, or at least made me feel like we've been driven apart. But that's why I want to know about them, I think. Because I see how much they hurt you, and I want to be there to comfort you. Makes me miserable seeing you sleepless and depressed. Don't pretend like you aren't, because I know, okay? I just remember that night when you fell asleep with me and had that nightmare, and you were happy to have me there when you woke up. I want to be able to be there for you like that whenever you need me to be. Stern face cracks slightly, and me interrupts before I can continue further. Just stop right there. We can't see each other anymore, okay? She's rushing now, looking everywhere but at me. Swear she doesn't bolt. She knows I can't catch her. We're not right for one another. It's not true. You know it. No, it's true. You're too... I know that I've been pushy about knowing your past. You can't tell me yet. At least let me be there, if I don't know the reason. It's okay, I promise. I won't ask why you need comfort. I'll just give it freely. Amy's shaking her head, and tears seem to be threatening the corners of her eyes. Stop saying that. Why? Because you're afraid you'll take me up on it? I'm not afraid. I can't keep the chiding tone from my voice as I respond. Yes, you are. You told me so yourself, remember? That's okay. Really, it is. However, it seems to me that someone who's managed to come out of that wreck, still be as energetic and cheerful as you are, be determined enough to face that fear. Determination? What do you know about determination? I know that there's a girl so determined to take care of a total stranger that she steals food at a festival. And I know that there's a girl so determined to help me with my own problems. She'd draw up a completely dietary and exercise plan, and that she'd not only draw up the plan, she'd follow them with me, even when she couldn't run. Determined enough to keep me at arm's length, she put herself through emotional pain if she thought it was the right thing to do. Although, there's one thing that this determined girl didn't quite plan for, which was that I might feel the same kind of determination to keep her from being hurt. I fell in love with you, and I refuse to let that be thrown away because you're afraid of losing me. What little control Amy still has at that point cracks, and I find myself suddenly enveloped in her embrace as she cries. Why are you doing this? Why can't you just leave me alone? Aww. I hold her close and plant a kiss on top of her head. I'm sorry, Emmy. You helped me when I first arrived, so now I have to help you. It's only fair. You're utterly hopeless. Did you know that? She hiccups and trembles a little. Funny. I could say the same thing about you. Can you do something for me, Hisao? Anything? Can you go now? Just like she just shoved a knife through my chest. Go. I need to think, okay? I can't just tell you everything yet. I'm still scared, and when you're around, I can't think clearly. But do me another favor. What's that? Show up for a morning run tomorrow. Smile. Feeling better than I have all week. Of course. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Emi steps back slowly, almost reluctantly. She sniffles a little and then grins at me. A real smile that lights up the track, overpowering the fading evening's light. See you tomorrow, Sal. Okay. No, she darts forward suddenly, planting a soft kiss on my lips, then steps back shyly. Spitting on her back foot, she takes off running again, and I know that our conversation's at its end. My lips tingle with the warmth of that brief kiss, and the memories of other, longer kisses. I walk back to my room with the spring in my step. Tomorrow, when my alarm goes off, I'll get up. Hey, yo, I think we got the correct route! Let's go! Act 4, Motion. Of the ocean? Hey, yo. Good morning. The morning sun is bright through the open window, and the sound of my alarm quickly has me up and about. I slept surprisingly well last night, secure in the knowledge that at least I've got another chance with Emmy. If I can just keep myself from doing another thing stupid, maybe I'll find out what's been eating her recently, and why it wasn't me. Hey, yo! I have a few educated guesses, but nothing concrete, and certainly nothing that I'm going to say to her. I'd much prefer to have her tell me herself. Amy's waiting for me as promised, looking a little haggard, but otherwise bright and cheerful, much more so than any previous day this week. Hisao, you're late. I wave my hand dismissively. Nonsense, you're just early. Amy grins back, and it feels like we're finally back to where we should be with one another. Except now, Amy, not just me, wants to take another step forward. Although a part of me worries that she'll be back out at the last second. Hurry up and stretch, Hisao. I don't want to miss the bus. The bus? Oh, are we gonna go see your dad's grave? Yeah, the bus. I want to show you something and I don't want to be late. Oh, okay. Trying to grin too widely. I'm happy beyond words that Amy wants to hang out after the run at all. But her promise to showing me something has me even more intrigued. Is this what she had to think about? I wonder just what she's planning to do. Going to go through my warm-up routine while Emmy bounces impatiently from one foot to the other. She really does seem to want to get moving as soon as possible. That's probably the anxiety. The run is over so quickly I can barely believe that I haven't fallen over dead afterwards. Emmy set a blistering pace, and I, in my foolishness, kept up with her. Well, at least into the last few laps. Had to slow down just in case, but I don't mind. Emmy's waiting patiently for me when I finish. As patiently as she can wait, anyways. Finished? Good, come on! Chihuahua energy. Grab my arm, she practically rushes me down to the nurse's office. You seem in a hurry, Emmy. Trying to catch the early bus. Yeah, told Mom I'd be back for lunch. Well, I'll take care of you first then. But his house gotta come with me too. The nurse raises a single eyebrow at the statement and peers at the two of us, searchingly. Really? Today, huh? Oh, is today the day of the accident? That's crazy. Amy's response is a nod, followed by a surprisingly shy grin. Well then, we'll make this quick. Amy enters the nurse's office, and I patiently wait outside for her to be finished, wondering just why the nurse seemed to be surprised by Amy's declaration. I feel like I'm missing out on some joke or the significance of today, beyond the fact that it is clearly significant in some way, of course. Man cannot put context clues together, I swear. True to his word, the nurse sends Emmy out of his office surprisingly quickly, and I take her place after promising to meet up with her at the front gate. The nurse takes my pulse and listens for a bit. Heartbeat's faster than usual. Been pushing yourself again, have you? Well, Emmy seemed in a rush to get through the run, so I'm not surprised. Today is rather important to her, you know? I suspected that could be the case, but I have no idea why that's the case. She hasn't told you. Interesting. And you're not going to tell me either, then? Nope, I'm not. I suspect that Emmy has her own plans for explaining today to you, and I don't want to mess with that. You'll find out soon enough, so what's the rush? And that's for the best. Now, as for your heart, I would take it easy for the rest of the day. No spontaneous races or anything like that. Got it? Got it. She won't have her running legs on anyways. Right? No, but if you think something like that is going to stop her, good point. I don't think it'll be much of an issue today of all days, but still. He's trying to reassure me he's doing a terrible job. Quickly becoming more and more worried about what today could be for, like, suddenly finding out Emmy's in a cult or something. Yeah, let's go, let's join a cult! At the same time, today is such a big deal and Emmy wants me to be with her for it. Maybe she really does want to grow closer to me. Maybe this will be the answer to all the riddles, to the sleepless nights and the sudden mood swings. Either way, I barely remember to thank the nurse before taking off as quickly as I dare for my room. To get a shower and throw on some decent-looking clothes. Today's as important as it seems to be, I should dress appropriately. Emmy, of course, proves me wrong as soon as I reach the front gate, wearing her usual shirt and shorts. So at least I know it's not a terribly formal affair, whatever it is. You're early, Hisao. Not as early as you. Eager, are we? Emmy cheekily pokes out her tongue. The bus stop isn't very crowded this hour, which seems to please Emmy, and we end up relaxing a little as we wait. We sit in silence for a while, but I can tell that Emmy's trying to work herself up to say something. I don't have anything to say myself, so I sit waiting for her to talk. It doesn't take too long. So, I'm sure you're curious as to why the nurse thought it was so weird for me to be bringing you along today. It was a bit, yes, but if you're not ready to tell me. Emmy stops my sentence by placing a finger on my lips. Don't tempt me, Hisao. I want to tell you this, but I'm just uncertain as to how to go about it. I don't want to keep delaying or deferring. I just want to be able to say it. So say it. You know that's not going to be easy for me, right, Hisao? So treat it like running. Warm up to it with something small and easy and just go from there. But don't do it too fast, okay? I'm a patient man. I can wait for you to get to it. Hey, yo, are we still talking about, whatever, important conversation we're talking about here? Or are we talking about something else? Amy seems to consider my words, weighing them against what is probably a desire to just get it over with. I'll admit, as much as I keep telling Amy to take her time, I wouldn't mind her getting it over with either. But somehow, I know that Emmy probably needs more time than the bus rides will provide to get it all out, whatever it is. Yeah, maybe you're right. Bus stop isn't probably the best place for this anyways. Just to make sure that I don't go back on my word, I'll at least say this. Takes a deep breath, lets it out, and after a moment, says in a low voice, "We're gonna see my dad today." The words hang in the air, and I can see that Emmy's afraid that I'll panic and disappear in response, which a part of me almost wants to. Why? Coward! But it would be stupid of me to back out or to suddenly abandon the promise I made to be there for Emmy when she needs me. If he did, oh my god, could you imagine if Hisao actually did just he heard that and was like, alright, I'm out, and just runs away? Emmy would never trust anyone ever again. That would be a linchpin, point in her life. She would never get over that. We would actively just ruin her. The nurse thought it was so weird for her to bring me along. She doesn't bring anyone else along, or at least I'm willing to bet that she hasn't before today. Today seems to take on an even greater significance. What has it taken Emmy to get even this far? And that's the best I can manage as a response? I mean, that's not bad. That's not a bad one. You know, you understand, but you're just waiting for her to, continue it herself. Because, you're respecting her bounds, right? This is the day for her to talk, not necessarily for us to talk. Yeah. I don't know what I should say. Nothing, I think. Just promise that you're going to come with me. Of course. You know I will. Emmy smiles wanly, looking a little relieved. Good. In that case, we better get going. Bus pulls up just a little after she finishes the sentence. Convenient! Vague memories of my first trip out here come to mind as I step off the bus. But unfortunately, they're too vague to be of any use. I'll be the first to admit that I don't quite recall how to get to Emmy's house, so I let her lead the way. She seems content to walk in silence, and I myself have no idea what I could possibly say, so the two of us arrive at her house having said nothing since getting off of the bus. Emmy's mother opens the door and doesn't seem surprised to see me sitting next to her daughter. I expect that Emmy would have phoned ahead to let her mother know of the change in plans. Emmy, Hisao, you're just in time. Lunch is just about ready. I don't know if I could eat right now. The nerves of today. I don't know if eating is on the menu right now. Great. I was afraid we might be running late. Just as you were going this morning, that there was much of a chance of that. Certainly hope she wasn't too much of a bother, Hisao. Tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved. I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat on the arm from Emmy, who, despite the serious nature of our conversation on the bus, and the almost brooding quiet walk, has quickly become cheerful again. Probably keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy plans to tell me later. I think her mom kinda knows, and she's just kinda letting her daughter experience this, point of her life. Miss Iburazaki ushers us in, and in short order, we're around the table devouring lunch. Hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once I seem to be eating about as much as Emmy. Goodness, it's a good thing I made so much. Two of you are acting like you haven't eaten in days. I skipped breakfast this morning. Me too. Had to catch the bus, I assume. That, and I figured you'd make too much food, so it wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast. Well, it's good to know that I'm predictable. Emmy nods enthusiastically, and the conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of everything edible. It is a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. I lean back on my chair and, with a sigh, and thank Miss Ibarazaki for the food. I'm glad you liked it, Hisao. Now, has Emmy told me where you were going? Or has told you where you were going? Sort of. Is it far from here? Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It closes kind of early. I nod in assent and stand up, ready to go. Well then, shall we? Miss Ibarazaki nods and leaves the room to grab her keys. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts. Emmy smiles tightly at me and shrugs. She's falling silent again, which probably means that I'm right. And she's starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her. She's done such a good job of shutting me out that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I'm worried that she's forcing it. But she said, while waiting for the bus, that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out. And since I promised to go with her anyway, I suppose there's not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I just hope the both of us are up to it. We're off. Emmy's mother blows through the dining room, collects the two of us, and heads out the door at a brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. The car pulls up to the cemetery gates, and I feel Emmy tense up beside me. I reach over and give her hand a comforting squeeze, which causes her to relax a little. Emmy's mother doesn't follow us, explaining that she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps through the gates and looks back as if making sure that I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. Nah, I think it's more that her mom just doesn't want to intrude upon this moment. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? Where do I wind up with the maker of my own? How much longer do I have left? The concept of not waking up, not seeing Emmy anymore, it's not a happy one. It frightens me, and I very nearly turn around and exit right then and there. I've been to many cemeteries, many graveyards in my life. Hell, I even have one, like, basically in my backyard. Like, just, not even like a block down the road, right? Like, just basically in my backyard, there's a cemetery. So, like, I'm very used to them. They're kind of a vibe, to be honest with you. Although I always tend to bring ghosts home whenever I go to one. I always feel like I'm haunted for, like, a week afterwards. I don't want to go among dead people. I don't want to see their stones and think about who they were or what they could have been if they only had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me, and my resolve returns. Amy striding purposely down the path, eyes clear, sitting in a pace that's very nearly a jog. Sooner we get there, I suspect, she thinks the better. We're here. A gravestone, wholly unremarkable, and everything except for the name etched upon it. Grass has grown up around the base. Actually, not really. Grass is pretty well maintained around here. Amy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around, looking surprisingly calm, yet solemn. Pink's not actually my favorite color, you know. What? I'm warming up to it. People tend to think that pink's my favorite color. I think it's just because I like strawberries. Even though those are red, and they just assume that pink's the right color for strawberries. And if that's my favorite color, but it's not, I'm too polite to tell anyone otherwise. Of course, it's not that kind of thing worth getting worried about, but I'll bet even you thought pink was my favorite color. I was kind of thinking green, to be honest with you. You're very much a green-coded girl. Like, look, you're wearing a green camisole, like, tank top thing, and, like, I don't know, just doing all the running there. I feel like green was definitely the one. But blue, huh? Blue, that's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that. And now you do too. Blue's a good one. I'd say the blue was my favorite color when I was younger. I don't know if I would still say blue's my favorite color. Ironic, considering I'm kind of colorblind. Thanks for telling me, I think. You're welcome. There's a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath. I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing a song is something I've never been able to do. I don't mind because I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway. You're not a fan of karaoke? This relationship is destined to fail. I'm sorry. Unless you're okay with, like, listening to karaoke. In which case, I guess you can just be my DJ. That's one potential date idea out the window. People all think that I'm really popular and a friendly person, but I only have a few close friends. Probably because I keep everyone in the dark, but I think it's also because I hate the idea of losing a close friend. There aren't many people worth the risk. That is probably true, huh? I'm terrible at saying goodbye. I sometimes think that I only run because it's what I used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend. I dated a guy for a long while during my second year at Yamaku, but in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get closer to him. He couldn't live with the distance between us. Her rate of speaking increases slightly, as if she's rushing towards the finish line. I'm actually 1 year older than you. Everyone thinks I'm younger because I'm short, but had to skip 1 school year because of my accident. They initially thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreckage. I lost my legs already, but they were afraid that I wouldn't even be able to use what was left of them. After surgery, it was clear that their initial assessment was mistaken. Couldn't feel my legs because of shock. Short-term paralysis due to the other trauma I've experienced. This is a whole lot of information she's just dropping on us in like rapid succession. Holy shit. My recovery was one of the fastest they've ever seen, or so they told me. Never found out if they were serious about that or if they told that to all the patients learning to walk again. She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort. 8 years ago today, I lost my legs, and I lost my father as well. He died on the way to the hospital. I couldn't even go to the gravesite until 2 months later. I couldn't attend his funeral. I'm so sorry. Don't be. That's what everyone always says, that they're sorry. I hate hearing that, like anyone could ever have done anything to change what happened. You know the best piece of advice I got? These things happen. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But it's true, you know? These things happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. They aren't necessarily planned, and they aren't always bad. And they aren't always good, but they are. So I made the decision that I would live without worrying about the future, and to be sure that I never had to say goodbyes again. I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away at any time. You know what? She laughs a little bitterly. Her eyes start to well up with tears, and I step forward to embrace her, but she holds up a hand to stop me. Not finished. Deep breath, and she continues. It worked pretty well, till I met you and saw that you were trying to adjust this stuff here. So I thought I'd help, and you were so nice, and I couldn't help it. I just... No. Why am I blonde now? Why am I blonde now? Isn't Hisao got dark hair in like all the other... Why am I blonde now? I'm more confused about that than I am about anything else going on right now. Why am I blonde? Did I... What? Huh? I'm confused. I'm very confused. Have we been blonde this entire time? There's no shot, right? We've definitely had like brown, like a brunette colored hair up until now, right? There's especially being an Asian as well. Like granted anime, but like blonde is not, it's not the color. That's not the color that most Asian people have, unless they're a punk. Hence, you know, the highlights on my model. Whenever I use the model for streaming. The tears are flowing now, and she accepts the embrace this time. The rest of her sentences mumbled into my chest. Try not to fall for you, but I did. And then I tried to keep you at distance, like with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. But I've been so scared because I don't want to lose you. I might anyway. Hey, I'm still around, right? And maybe I won't be forever, but don't you think that it'll be fun while it lasts? Neither of us could survive the day. Could be a bus crash or something. As long as I know that I've been with you, I don't think it really matters. A sudden thought strikes me, and I can't help but laugh. My condition had me scared of dying so badly that I immediately seized on the opportunity Emmy presented to improve my odds of living longer. But without Emmy, there wouldn't have been any motivation to keep up with my running. It hits me that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day, so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks up at me confused. We'll go on living till we stop. And when we stop living, we'll be able to know that at least we had time together, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Because I love you, Emmy. And right now, that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through her tears and steps back from me. You know, it's funny. What is? I thought that the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone. But now I don't think I'd have it any other way either. I'm glad I met you, Hisao. Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay by the grave for a while, and Emmy pays her respect to her father. When she's ready to go, we exit the graveyard side by side. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs non-commitmentally. I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. We paused outside the girls' dorm, and I turned to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye. Why don't you come up for a while? Okay. Hot coffee? Walk up to the room is in silence. I'm not sure why I'd be turned away at the door. I guess I just assumed she'd want to be alone. Her mom, the nurse, hell, everyone who knew the significance of today seemed to think it best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me to the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened on the day she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into her room, not even bothering me to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in and the door swings shut behind me. Hey, can I ask you a favor? Sure. Can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles and pulls me into a kiss that starts out soft, but deepens into something more desperate. Stay with me, please. Her voices drop to a whisper. The question is barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. Something about the way that she asks that question, the hesitancy in it, the quiet voice, makes me think that she doesn't mean tonight. No, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me. Not tonight, or forever, because both of us know that there's no such thing as forever. There's no time limit to her request. There's just the request. The favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards her bed, stepping backwards with care until she sits down on the edge. And another sex scene that we are censored from seeing. Damn you, censorship! Damn you! I collapse next to Emmy, who almost immediately curls against me, smiling. For a while, we lay in silence, savoring the feeling of being next to one another. Emmy's the first to speak. Hey, Hisao? Huh? Thanks for coming with me today. I smile and plant a kiss on her head. Of course. My pleasure. Emmy snuggles closer, and I can feel her breathing begin to slacken as she begins to drift off to sleep. Just as she's about to fall asleep, she wakes up enough to mutter a single sentence. I love you, Hisao. Then she's out like a light, leaving me feeling like I'm on top of the world. I'd rather slumbering Emmy as close as possible, put the covers over to keep the chill off, and fall asleep as happy as I've ever been. Ooh, we're still going. You know, maybe it's a good thing that we have literally nothing in our room, because it sounds like that's no longer going to be our room. Hey yo, hey yo. The morning light seems to reach further into Emmy's room than it does into mine. The results in my waking up earlier than I would have if I'd gone back to my room last night, as had previously been our routine. I did not realize it until this morning, but this is the first time we've actually spent the night together. Small movement from my partner's still slumbering form causes me to look to the side. Hair splayed across her face. Emmy continues to sleep peacefully, curled up next to me. It's slightly weird seeing her without her trademark twin tails, but it's also a look I could get used to. Small size of the beds were necessities, her curling up, but I'm pretty sure she would have done so anyways. The covers are nearly over her head, and I smile as an errant strand of her hair causes her nose to twitch slightly. Unable to help myself, I draw her a little closer and move with what she seems to think is a good idea. Her steady breathing raises a trail of goosebumps onto my chest, but I don't mind. I'm no longer tired, but do not feel the need to move from my current position. Emmy's warm body in repose against mine is far too comfortable to move. I gaze up at the ceiling and consider how it is that we got to this point. We've been close for a while, but not this close. Seems like only yesterday that she ran into me in the hallway, and after apologizing, said to take an interest in my well-being. But that grew into something else, which I at least was not expecting. One thing is for certain, having found Emmy, I'll try as hard as I can not to lose her. My morning musing is interrupted by further movement from Emmy. Her eyes flutter open and she seems briefly confused by my presence in her bed. Good morning! She then smiles happily and sits up, her face looking down at me. Good morning, Hisao. Hi. Sleep well? Yeah, I did. Exhausting day yesterday, you know. I think back over yesterday's trip to the graveyard. Yeah, glad to hear you slept well. How'd you sleep? Well enough, so you kept hogging the covers. It turns me a shove and a stuck-out tongue, a chuckle, and Emmy giggles a little, and we fall quiet for a while. I soak up the feeling of how right it all seems, waking up with Emmy by me, firm into a bed made for one person. It's something I could get used to. Hey, Hisao. Thanks for sticking around. No problem. Saved me the walk back anyway, right? It draws another giggle, but then Emmy's expression turns serious again. No, really, I kept trying to push you away because I thought that was the right thing to do. You stuck around through it all. Haven't made any of this easy for you, but you stuck it out anyway. So, really, I mean it. Thank you. She punctuates this by giving me a kiss, pulling back and looking at me with an expression of affection. I reach up and ruffle her hair, smiling all the while. I'm stupidly lucky, I think. I've come through everything after my heart attack, and to somehow have found this girl is nothing short of a miracle. True. Like a video game plot device. It's crazy how this all happened. You're very welcome, Emmy. Couldn't bear the thought of giving you up. I'll even continue to stick around, if you want. I'd like that. That settles it then. Don't know how long my heart will keep working. I don't even really know what I'll do after this year is over, apart from going to university. As long as Emmy's around, I think I'll be okay. I've managed to help her, and she's managed to help me. We keep doing that, we'll be okay, I think. So, Hisao, what do you want to do today? It's time for a morning run. But ayo, maybe a little bit of pre-game before the morning run? Ayo? There it is. Can you stand up for yourself, reach Emmy's good ending? That is a terrible name for the achievement for completing Emmy's route. That's crazy. But hey, there it is. Ooh, yo, we getting some special credits here? What is that? Concept art of Emmy and like her prosthetics. It's kind of weird how it's it's kind of weird how it's so like far away though. Like, what is this like room that we're in looking at these like concept arts? Oh well, we'll take it. That was good though. That was real good. Key. I like that name. Anonymous as well. Wow, they had Anonymous working on this. Crazy. But no, yeah, it was a good time. Like, it is both a little disappointing that we didn't get to see like all of the scenes, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But it did make my life more easy. It definitely made my life easier to not have to edit through all of that stuff. And that's a short credit sequence as well. Like, it was like nobody worked on this game. Granted, it's a visual novel. It doesn't require a ton of resources, right? But that was good. That was very, very fun. I enjoyed that. Katawa Shoujo completed. And with that, another season of Skye Reads Shit. It was a good time though. It was a very good time. I enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm probably going to go through, and by probably I mean most definitely, right? Most definitely I'm going to be going through and doing all the routes off of the series. Off of the channel, considering, like, it feels appropriate, right? That, like, you go through, you get the one route, and then, like, if you want to do anything else, right? Like, that's, like, extra. That's, like, the next life. That's, like, the next game. So, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that for now, but the Emmy route was very adorable. Very stressful as well, like, ugh. Also, like, down there at the bottom, we now have, like, the pictures of Emmy as well. And those are all, like, all the chapters. Like, the first one there with Hisao is just Hisao being, for, like, the intro. And then, like, all the Emmy route, like, photos that we got. It's quite nice. Also, I do want to check this out. Like, hold up, the gallery. We, yeah, he's got, like, brunette hair. What is this? Like, that's Hisao. And then, do we have, like, a more modern picture of Hisao? Yeah, look at this. That's brunette hair. Absolutely, like, brunette, brown hair, whatever you want to call it. And then, like, this one, like, okay, you know, I can kind of just take it. Oh, it's because his hair's getting bleached from being out in the sun running so much, isn't it? Because it's, like, becoming more blonde and less brown. That's what it's supposed to be like. And then it's so blonde in this one. But, like, that's what it's supposed to be like, huh? His hair is getting sun-bleached from all this running that he's been doing. Oh. I can handle that. What is, Oh, I guess these are, like, the H scenes, right? But since we don't have the patch installed, they're not actually there. And then there's Hanako's route, and Lily's route. No idea whose route that is. Rin's route. And then just, like, the little extras in here. A lot of H scenes in here. I'm guessing some of these pink ones are probably the H scenes. What are all these extra H scenes then that are like at the end? Is there the harem route? The post-game harem route? But either way, that was very enjoyable, very fun. And with that, we are done with the second season of Skye Reads Shit. You know, shit being like, just stuff in general. I gotta keep up that punk motif, despite playing dating sim visual novels. We gotta still, like, give that, like, the punk motif in there, but like, yeah, we gonna be reading some shit today. Some real good shit, though. Some real good shit. We have enjoyed it. And, yeah, I don't know exactly what we're gonna be starting off with next time, but we got plenty of things. Plenty of visual novels in the back burner, in the backlog. And so, I'm excited to get into something else. There are many things. There are many things that I wish to start. Like, maybe we're gonna keep going with Utawa Ramono. Like, that could be fun. Like, every other season is Utawa Ramono. Or there's also, like, other things I want to get into as well. And, like, things might go on sale on Steam, and I'm like, ooh, piece of candy. Pick up something that might be, like, a short read, or just something that would be, something that really just catches my eye, like a new release. I don't know. Could be anything. Which is why you should all like and subscribe. Would appreciate all of that support, as always. It feels way different to say that on, like, a video format than it does in a stream format. Because, yeah, we are a streamer first and foremost. These videos were, like, were just a reason for me to get to editing a little bit, right? To, instead of just focusing entirely on, like, YouTube Shorts content and, like, live stream content, to put in some effort and make some, like, regular video edited content as well. And, it's been fun. It's been very fun. So hopefully you've all been enjoying it as well. I appreciate you all for being here. But yeah, that'll be the end of Katawa Shoujo. So yes, once again, thank you all so much for stopping on by. Thank you all for being here. And until the next time, you all take care.